Alright, so this was the go-home show before Payback, or Extreme Rules 2: The Revenge. So we begin, the Authority is back in town. Triple H shows up, assigns all the matches for the night. All of the 5 people, well, actually 4 people who are involved in the Fatal 4-Way match are going to have matches. Kane is going to take on Roman Reigns in a match we really haven't seen like a dozen times. Match doesn't get started because they just book Reigns to just power own Kane. Seth Rollins is going to take on Randy Orton in the main event in a match that we've seen a couple of times. It's a good match. It's a solid match, which ends by a run-in. Okay. Ambrose gets a match against J&J Security in a handicap match, which he easily just flat out destroys the two of them in front of a hometown crowd. The end, of course, has Rollins eating all 3 finishers. Orton eating Reigns' finisher. Reigns eating Ambrose's finisher because it's his hometown. Okay. Yeah. Then they mentioned the Elimination Chamber is going to be doing like a special 2 weeks after Payback. So I don't think there's a title change hands. Because you need 2 more people and you got a chamber match. So Kane and a 6th person. Cesaro took on Big E Langston. Good match. The 2 powerhouses of their teams. Nice. I liked it. It looked like Cesaro might have dropped Big E on his head after a very, very impressive "I'm going to hold you" suplex. Just fantastic. The finish saw what I'll just call the La Cesaro Cradle. I've never seen that move before. It looked like he was going for kind of like a Desecrator DDT, but then rolled it into a pin. Looked awesome. And apparently, the Brass Ring Club is going to be taking on New Day in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm assuming they'll use Freebird rules, so they'll probably have to pin 2 different members, as the team will constantly be changing configurations, which I think is awesome. Ideally, I would love to see them put either the US or like the IC title on Big E Langston, or on one of them, and then that title gets defended the same way. You have to defeat one of the 3 of them to become a champion, or 2 of the 3 become tag champs. I think that'd be a fantastic way to do it. Probably make him IC champ. Speaking of which, Daniel Bryan showed up, and guess what? His injury is to the point where they don't know when he's going to recover again. So if you're keeping score at home, Hideo Itami out with an injury, Sami Zayn out with an injury, Daniel Bryan out with an injury. I don't know who to just show an undying love for. All the really awesome guys are injured. I'm afraid to really get behind Finn Balor because he'll probably get injured next. Kevin Owens had an injury that he's kind of working his way through. He should be okay. He doesn't require surgery, but a lot of their really awesome workers are injured. Ziggler, in his best Rock of Ages look, took on King Barrett. He was doing well, of course, until Cesaro got involved. Pretty much just the build-up for Sheamus and Ziggler. No butt kissing this time. Alright, should be a good match. They're 2 good workers. Doesn't matter who wins, because their feud is going to continue. Neville will be taking on King Barrett. They've had some solid matches. I do picture Neville getting the victory. I think he's due one, and I think it'd be really great. And John Cena's open challenge. He takes on frickin' Neville. Great match. John Cena does like a tilt-a-whirl into a Michinoku driver that even I went, I think John likes wrestling smaller guys. He's like, I can do some awesome stuff because you're so much smaller. We see an awesome red arrow off the top rope. 1, 2, Rusev running. And I was like, man, we had a lot of dirty finishes. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. So Rusev is taking on John Cena in an I Quit match. The match that like John Cena wins all the time. I'm almost hoping that what they're going to do is Rusev will do something to Lana, which will force John Cena to say that he quits. Lana does a massive swerve and goes from being like, oh, but I'm a face, America, yay, USA, #1. And instead just does an entire flip of the script and goes right back to being this like hardcore heel Russian. That she uses that female Paul Heyman heat to draw people in, and then just toss in the curve and be like, no, niet, 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 and just, I think it'd be awesome. But it's John Cena. He'll probably win. John Cena can lose because it's been 2 months. He needs a new shirt. Just saying. Most of the Wyatts have reformed. Harper and Rowan are back again. And they flat out just destroyed Face Down Go. And I'm like, good. Those two guys as a tag team is great. Looking forward to those two guys running roughshod out of the division again. They need that big, rough, tumble powerhouse group. Run with it. Do it. Make it work. Axelmania took on Macho Mizdow. Or Macho Mando. And the match didn't really get going because the new and improved Ascension showed up. And they're now taking on the Reformed Mega Powers at the Payback pre-show. Brie took on Tamina because Naomi's taking on Nikki. So it makes sense that you have the running buddies take on each other. Brie was going, but Tamina was having none of that and kicked her freaking head off. Got the three. Uno, dos, tres. Done. Alright, good. I still don't know why they're like, the Bellas are faces now. Why? Because they got jumped from behind by Tamina and Naomi. Why? They're still the mean girls. They don't work well at all as faces. They are not faces. They are heels. They're freaking heels. If you want to be like, well, Daniel Bryan could talk about Brie talking about Daniel Bryan, then why doesn't Nikki bring up freaking John Cena? You just told divas all the time to bad storylines. Everyone watches that. Freaking Joe knows Cena, Nikki. Why not put them on screen together? John Cena, perennial, freaking milk toast vanilla babyface. If you show him and Nikki together, boom, you could then have her be, well, can't really say that she's vanilla. Because she's got a decent amount of ethnicity to her. I go French vanilla. Actually, I say French vanilla. With like a swirl. So you can just use that and boom, there's your faces, that works. Do I picture Nikki dropping the title? I think she's getting pretty well up there when it comes to her actual title reign, which is actually quite impressive. But it's a Bella and it's a title, so they're probably gonna take it off for some time because let's be honest, you can't have the New Day holding the titles and Naomi holding the titles. Dogs and cats living together. That's mass hysteria. See, I'll let that thing out of the show. Wasn't as good as last week's. I liked last week where it was match, promo, boom, 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 boom. Works great. This one just felt, again, like it was one of those, oh, we're going to have most of these matches and the screwjob finishes. Oh, they're going to be short. Oh. We're going to try to slowly advance the narrative. Oh. And every time I hear someone say, Rollins only has a 25% chance of retaining the title, I think it's Steiner math. Totally Steiner math. I love Scott Steiner math. He should totally become a math teacher now that he's not trying to kill Hulk Hogan. So, Payback should be a pay-per-view that will happen on Sunday. For those of you new to the network, it's free. For those of you who are freaking paying for it since it started, I have to spend $10. But on the bright side, I get NXT. And yes, for those of you who are in the Columbus area, yes, I will be at the LC Pavilion for NXT June 13th.